Keep them hashtags, you know I see ya. Talk about you the best, people never heard of ya. It's all about the punchlines, you know they clever. Never.
All right, we are here, everybody who's all the misfits of the channel. I'm here with Long Island Josh,
What's up, Misfits?
and we are here to talk about top five wrestling topics that has gone on the last couple weeks.
Yeah, we got a lot of positive feedback on our last wrestling video. So Red and I were thinking we should do a little bit more about it. So we came up with 5 topics, and we're just going to talk about it. And we'd love to get your thoughts. So leave a comment. Okay, so first story.
Wait, also leave a like if you want to.
Well, let them hear the show, then they can leave a like. But first, leave a comment.
Leave a like.
I'm not going to leave you a like. I'll take it. But okay, so first story. I know we're having fun, but unfortunately, there's been a death in the wrestling family, and Chavo Guerrero Sr. died earlier today from liver cancer. I didn't even know he was sick, but he died at 68 years of age.
Yes, and it's one of those things that it's sad because for me I always liked the Guerrero, all the Guerrero wrestlers.
The great Guerrero family.
Yeah, and I feel like I always have the discussion with everybody else. Like everybody when they think about the Guerreros, the standout is always Eddie Guerrero. And but there would be no Chavo Guerrero to be on the to be tag team with Eddie Guerrero with his uncle and everything. If you didn't have Chavo Classic, who in his right mind was a pretty good wrestler when he was younger as well.
Yeah, the whole Guerrero family has always been pretty good. So just so we can recap, it all starts with Gory Guerrero.
Yes.
He's the patriarch of the Guerrero family. He had 4 sons. Those were Mondo Guerrero, Hector Guerrero, the Hall of Fame wrestler Eddie Guerrero, and Chavo Sr. Chavo was the eldest son of the 4. So they all grew up in El Paso, Texas, and Chavo worked like the end of the territory days pretty much until he came back in 2004. I'm not really familiar with his work other than the WWE part, so are you familiar? Was your father familiar? I know that wrestling kind of goes back in your family also, so you guys also from a different part of the country than I am, so your history with it is different. You guys got different channels, different promotions.
Yeah, and I only seen like a few matches. I wouldn't say that I seen a whole bunch of matches of Chavo Guerrero and everything, but he was pretty decent, and he he had some feuds back in the day, with the late Roddy Piper as well, and he was going for the NWA, like I think it was like America's heavyweight championship back in the day. That's when NWA had it as that, and I think he had it for a while. I think for like a decade or over a decade, if I remember. And
Good for him.
yeah, and so other than that, he had a pretty good. I mean, he tag teamed with his brothers Mondo and Hector, and I think I seen Hector more than Chavo Senior. More so because of Hector Guerrero during the WCW days. He did wrestle quite a bit during those Monday Nitro days, and but the last time I seen Chavo Guerrero was when he came back for WWE back in what was you say 2004 2005
2004.
Yeah.
My you had mentioned Hector Guerrero, so since I didn't watch WCW, I'm not really familiar with that part. I know Hector Guerrero as the commentator in TNA and the commentator for the stable LAX.
Yes.
So that's how I'm familiar with Hector. But yeah, in 2004, Chavo came back. It was during the storyline where it was Eddie Guerrero versus Chavo Jr. So I don't know. Everyone. It's a famous feud. Everyone knows all about it. It's probably very important to Eddie's career. But when Chavo came back, he got his moniker Chavo Classic. That's also the way I'm more familiar with Chavo Senior. And the guy's also right now he holds the record for being the oldest WWE Cruiserweight champion. So I don't expect that to get beaten anytime soon.
I don't know the way wrestlers are nowadays, like Hogan and Ric Flair. You never know one of them where you're like, I want to go for that title.
Right. So, do you have anything to say? Anything else about Chavo?
Uh, like I said, it's the Guerrero brothers. They all left a good legacy. I mean, when everybody goes, anywhere you go, everybody's like any territory or any part of the United States. You got your different families and stuff like that. But when you go down to Texas, when you think of El Paso, you think of the Guerrero brothers, and first thing that comes to my mind is Eddie Guerrero.
Mm-hmm.
Still always my top wrestler of all time.
Mine as
Uh,
well.
but when you think about the Guerrero brothers and stuff like that, you think of Texas, and you think of what they done in this business and stuff like that. No matter what you think of, like how Eddie Guerrero did a lot. No matter what you think of, like Chavo Guerrero Jr. I mean, he helped with that whole thing with Eddie Guerrero with Los Guerreros and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and with their whole lying, cheating, and stealing and stuff like that, and
Oh yeah.
those classic vignettes that they used to do with each other, like they were funny. They were very
Oh yeah. I
funny.
love those.
And if you haven't seen those, you gotta look those up. Um, you wouldn't have any of that if if Chavo Senior didn't have Chavo Junior stuff like that. And I think all of them they all tagged with each other. They all very close family with each other. I think they were like any other brothers who were in in any type of sport with each other. They're very competitive. They want to try to be better than the other. And I think at the end of the day, they all looked out for each other and all that. And it's one of those sad days in wrestling. It's like losing another family member in the whole wrestling family. And I
It
think
is. It
yeah.
is, but there is a positive spin to this, and that Chavo Classic Chavo Senior. I don't know how they'll call him, but he apparently appears at some point during Lucha Underground, and that's pretty cool, especially because Lucha Underground, and this is going to be our second story. Lucha Underground is coming to Netflix this
Yes.
Wednesday, February 15th, seasons 1 and 2. So I'm actually very excited for this. What about you?
I seen episodes of Lucha Underground on YouTube, but I really haven't got into it. I think I just need to watch more of it. Um,
Hmm.
I think
Well,
it.
I watched season 1, but I did it through Daily Motion,
Yeah.
and I I've got maybe through the first like 15 or so. I know I didn't finish season 1, and I didn't see any of season 2. So for me, this is exciting. I would love to. I'm looking forward to watching all of it because Lucha Underground's good because it is a show that it constantly grows. So episode 1, it rewards the fans, especially when it comes to season 1 Ultima Lucha, which I did see. But some of the lower card matches I would probably appreciate more now if I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, I seen it on YouTube, but it's one of those things that it's kind of when you watch a wrestling program, I have to sit and watch it, and just sit it and watch it on YouTube is kind of different than just watching it like on something else, like a regular cable or satellite or whatever. And I think it being on Netflix and them showing it on there, like the seasons 1 and 2, I think it'll give me time to sit down and watch it and see what the whole product is all about. I mean, I seen like what they do production wise and stuff like that, but I think if I just sit and watch like a full like season of it and then go, oh, okay, this is not so bad. But I heard they got quite a bit of the past wrestlers with they built up some newer wrestlers and stuff like that.
It's
So
a very good roster, and I think it helps if you watch the maybe give it anyone who's listening. If you haven't tried if you haven't tried Lucha Underground, please do. It's a very good show. I would say at least give it give it 3 episodes. Give it one Raw. Give it 3 episodes to let it develop its own characters, its own roster. It has its own look. It has its own feel. It really is its own little universe, and it's a fun show, exciting show. The wrestling is very good, and it's different storytelling. You know, they have this one female luchador, Sexy Star, and she accomplishes a lot in this promotion throughout the seasons, and you're not going to see that type of storytelling in WWE. And you know, you got your trios matches, which you don't really see in WWE, and I can only say good things about it from what I've seen. Now, you know, there's been a little bit of drop off for season 3 where we're at now, like in real life, and I don't know what's going on with their whole roster contract situation with people dropping out of AAA. So I don't know how that affects them, but season 1, you know, definitely is a watch, and I can't wait to see like season 2. I really hope that that also follows up, and I think that's when I think Ray comes in at the time. Rey Mysterio joins us, I think, in season 2. So yeah, Lucha Underground's on its way to Netflix. I can't wait. It should be really good. And any wrestling fan here comes like over 30 hours of wrestling content to go by, and you can catch up in time. By time like you catch up, probably season 4 will be ready to come out, and hopefully Netflix will have season 3 by then. So it's only good thing that Lucha Underground is finally on Netflix.
Yeah, I like I said, I'll sit down. Maybe if I watch it, all of it and everything, I'll come back and let you know my thoughts of what I thought about it. I mean,
Yeah, we could even do, episode by episode quick review. That's something you'd like. Leave a comment.
yeah, and then I don't know. This is my own opinion, but anything is better than I need something else. I mean, there's WWE, which I watch all the time and stuff like that, and I'm very into New Japan Pro Wrestling, and
Which I don't
so
get.
and so
And there's also Ring of Honor, which I don't get. And there's TNA that I don't want to watch.
yeah, TNA. That's yeah. That's all I
All
got to
right.
say about TNA.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so story number 3. It's not like something really recent, but after the Royal Rumble, the Raw right after, the end of it saw Seth Rollins come to the ring, challenge Triple H, and then Triple H responded by having someone come up from NXT and beat up Seth Rollins.
There was clues in the whole thing.
There was in the promo. I rewatched it, and he did. You pointed out also after it happened that in the promo he did say like he'd bring his destroyer.
Yeah, he just like
I,
he's gonna bring out the destroyer.
and the destroyer was Samoa Joe.
There you go.
There we go.
I was waiting for like something or whatever.
Well, I was doing jazz hands, but it doesn't really.
It doesn't help, but it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't help, but yeah, it's just audio.
You know what? Put an explosion there. Boom, Samoa Joe.
Hey, but
Right, so yeah, they battled, and then like Samoa Joe went to put him in the Coquina clutch, which he didn't do, but
this should be real. It was a sleeper hold.
he put him in a sleeper hold, and he tried to like fight with him, and they rolled around weird, and Seth Rollins.
Well, when he put the sleeper hold on him, when he was trying to go down, he felt kind of weird, like his knees kind of buckled, like his right knee or whatever, and they just fell awkwardly.
Right. So the unintentional effect of this was that Seth Rollins tore the MCL in his right knee. So now he's potentially out of Mania. I mean, what's the last update you heard on, when he might be back?
They didn't really say when he would be back. They didn't really give a time frame. They just said that I think it's one of those things that they don't want to like be. They don't want to put out something that and be like having it like be blown out of proportion and stuff like that. I think they're just waiting for sure to see if his knee will be okay. But I mean, if you had a knee injury, it's always gonna your knee is not gonna be 100% at all for the rest of your life.
And
And
he already had one injury, and this is his second. But I get that you want to go with facts, and WWE won't give out any facts. So let's go with speculation by the internet. And what I've heard is like originally they thought maybe he'd be out 4 to 8 weeks, but then he might be able to make Mania. But then like right before we started recording, I checked, and again like not a good resource or anything, but the internet was saying that his knee might be a little worse than they thought, so he could be out like 4 months. So definitely miss Mania, and that was
Yeah, I heard the same thing that he would. They were the rumor was that he was gonna be out longer than expected, and that's gonna be tough for him because he had to miss last year's Mania, and then just a couple months before this Mania comes, he's on the verge of possibly losing another Mania again,
hmm
and
So I agree that sucks for him, but assuming that he ends up being able to work Mania, even though he probably won't be 100%, what do you think the storyline is?
mm, I think if he is able to if he's able to make Mania, this is my whole thing. This is if he makes it to Mania, then he goes against Triple H, which I understand. But
Mhm.
how you gonna make a program of him trying to get revenge on Samoa Joe? Could they do it at Fastlane? Will he be okay for Fastlane? That's the thing. Um, if
Okay, so if he is okay for Fastlane, you think he just runs right through Joe?
I don't think he'll run through Joe.
I don't think he's making it to Fastlane, so but I'm just saying.
Yeah, if he makes it to Fastlane, I don't think he'll be a good match, but I think they gotta keep up with the whole momentum of Samoa Joe being that enforcer.
Right, and I don't like the idea of Joe losing to an injured Seth Rollins.
Yeah, and if uh if they don't do that, then maybe they do something again with maybe Roman Reigns again with Samoa Joe. I mean, we saw Roman
But
Reigns
I was
and
gonna
Samoa
ask,
Joe this Monday.
yeah, I was gonna ask now, assuming that Seth doesn't make it to Mania, what does that mean for Joe? So you say you think Fastlane's gonna be Roman Reigns versus Joe, even though we just saw it on Raw.
It could be. It could like if they don't do um Rollins and Samoa Joe at Fastlane, I see them doing Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns. And I don't know what plans that they have for Samoa Joe for WrestleMania, but that would keep Seth Rollins from wrestling and putting any type of pressure on his knee for Fastlane, and then just have him go and see how his knee does going towards WrestleMania, and he can have this match with Triple H because that's been an ongoing feud and everything.
I wonder if
Um,
they don't just delay the Triple H Seth match for like SummerSlam when they know Seth is good, and this also kills time. Seth can take time off, let his knee heal, come back whenever he can, then beat Joe after Joe's like hopefully beating Roman Reigns, but God knows that's not going to happen because it's Roman Reigns.
I
But
mean,
hopefully this could they just push this feud off for SummerSlam. But obviously it was going to be Mania, but Seth getting hurt maybe it lets him build more towards it. But I don't know. Do you think maybe it's just that match has to happen, or can this feud be
I think
extended a few more
I
months?
think it has to happen at Mania because they've been going with this for since like last year. I think the first part of last year when Seth Rollins was out, they were trying to look for a replacement. They're like he was too weak and stuff like that. Like that's when the whole thing started and everything. And he came back and he's been getting screwed over and everything. And I think this is where it's supposed to end at is at WrestleMania. But I think also with this injury and everything, I don't think WWE had a backup plan. I don't think they were expecting an injury.
I don't think they ever do. That's
Yeah.
not that's not how Vince thinks nowadays.
But I don't think they expected like Seth Rollins to be injured again before
No.
WrestleMania. And I think especially when you have somebody in there with like just bringing in Samoa Joe and all that, but you could work Joe with anybody else, and there's a handful of people that he hasn't gone against, and this past Monday you saw Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe, and I think they did that pretty well to where he basically was kicking Roman Reigns' ass.
Yeah, I like the match, and I was surprised they gave that away so fast. But then again, maybe not, because storyline dictates that if Roman Reigns is such a good guy and one of his brothers from the Shield went out because of Joe, then he should step up in his yard and big dog and blah blah blah. Should take on the submission machine, but I hate Roman, so he ruins even good things like Joe.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's something. It's we'll see what happens. We'll see what kind of backup plan they have after Fastlane. Fastlane's in like what, a week from tomorrow.
I don't know, but before we get to Fastlane, there is the Elimination Chamber, which is tomorrow. Do you want to talk about that?
Elimination Chamber. There's a part in there where
Well, here's the whole match card. We'll do really quick, go over the match card. Show kickoff match is Mojo Rawley versus Kurt Hawkins. I don't care.
I think that's a pre.
Mojo
I think that's a pre-show.
Whatever kickoff match means, I'm on their website. If that means pre-show, whatever. Mojo wins. That's what I hope, at least, because I like him more.
Yeah.
Oh, it's former tag team partners of Zack Ryder. I'm just realizing that.
Well, Kurt Hawkins.
Yeah, Kurt Hawkins and
You didn't
Edgehead.
Yeah.
I'm just realizing. I don't, and Mojo Hype Bros. Okay,
Yeah.
so Mojo's the better sidekick.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
I'm very surprised. I'm very surprised right now that you figured out that. Yeah.
I don't know, history, WWE history. Sometimes it counts. Right now, it doesn't. All right, so I say Mojo. What about you?
I say Mojo.
So next match, I mean, we don't really. You don't have.
Yeah. Keep going. Yeah. Keep going.
So next match, Apollo Crews and Kalisto takes on Dolph Ziggler in a 2-on-1 handicap match. Why?
Because they're pissed off about what Dolph Ziggler and his whole attitude of this is about me now.
So two faces are gonna beat up on one bad guy.
Yeah, so I don't know. I say Dolph Ziggler's gonna win.
Yeah. You know what? I also want Dolph Ziggler to win because that's not fair 2-on-1.
There you
He's a
go.
good guy.
There you
Even though I
go.
like Apollo
This guy.
Crews more. This guy. Dolph Ziggler for the win.
Dolph Ziggler for the win.
This match intrigues me because it's Mickie James taking on Becky Lynch, and I love Mickie James, so I hope she wins.
Yeah. No. It's not just the two. Okay, so after extensive time of me trying to figure this out, I must have not been paying attention on SmackDown. It's supposed to be Becky Lynch versus Mickie James. And then it's supposed to be Alexa Bliss versus Naomi for the SmackDown's Women's Championship.
Correct.
Okay,
and
so
there's also Nikki Bella versus Natalya.
Okay, so I say Mickie James will probably win, but I think that would hurt Becky Lynch in her quest of trying to become women's champion again. But it's either way for me on that one.
I don't know. I'm a Mickie James fan, so I hope she wins and she dethrones Becky Lynch in whatever order she is towards getting her rematch with Alexa Bliss. I would like to see Alexa Bliss versus Mickie James.
And then I think Alexa Bliss versus Naomi. I going with Alexa Bliss. Like I told you before, I am impressed with Alexa Bliss coming to the main roster, and she's done pretty good.
Yeah, I would also take her. But after Becky Lynch versus Mickie James, they have the SmackDown Tag Team Championship Turmoil match. And that looks to be American Alpha, Breezango, Vaudevillains, Usos, The Ascension, and Slater and Rhino. Do they have a name?
Just Slater and Rhino.
There you go. So, looking at, I like American Alpha. I really like them in NXT, but I think they've been handled wrong on SmackDown. But I don't want to see them lose the belt, so I hope they retain.
Yeah, I'm going for American Alpha. I really like them in NXT, and they're very good. They're very good. They remind me of a younger, faster Steiner Brothers. Younger, faster, unroided Steiner Brothers.
A nice fantasy matchup right there. So that match is followed by Nikki Bella versus Natalia. I'm assuming Nikki wins.
This whole thing. Let me vent a little bit, okay?
Please do.
This whole thing about the whole Nikki Bella and Natalia thing, and then Natalia throwing John Cena in there. We get it. She's screwing John Cena. John Cena's screwing her, and it's boring. It's anything that involves couples and putting another person's like significant other or whatever in the whole. It's boring. It is very boring, and it's just a cheap way of trying to get over in the match and get your character over and everything.
This storyline's not for you. It's for the people who watch Total Divas.
You know what? Let me vent about Total Divas too. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. And you got everything else of like what do you call it? The Real Housewives or whatever. It's just a waste of time, and that's just my opinion about the whole thing.
Well,
I'm going Vince Russo. I'm going Vince Russo on everything right now.
You clearly are. And even though I don't watch Total Bellas, Total Divas, I've heard from plenty people that like people who go to these live shows. There's plenty of women out there who are there to see the divas, and they think they're a bigger part of the show than they really are. So for them, they look forward to this, and it seems that they're building for Mania. That'd be Nikki Bella and John Cena versus the Miz and Maurice in a mixed tag, and it's probably going to be Cena proposing.
Doesn't make sense at all for me.
That's your Mania moment.
WrestleMania should, as much as I don't like John Cena as his character and everything, he should be in a bigger match than being in a
Nope. He's got to do his job.
I feel like he's got to be in a bigger match than a domestic dispute with another couple match type thing. And
technically, his Mania is going to be him versus Randy Orton, but we'll see how that may change. But I think WrestleMania moment's going to be Cena getting down on his knee and proposing to Nikki, and I'm wondering if the engagement ring is just going to be
it's going to be stupid. Title. It's going to be
WWE title
stupid
of diamonds. She's going to walk around with some WWE title belt engagement ring.
It's gonna be dumb. I mean, what are they trying to do? John Cena's like, oh, okay, I want to take the 16-time championship. I want to break that sometime, but I want to tie it with Ric Flair. Let me take another Legends moment. Let me try to outdo Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth. Let me do that. Let me. Who else can I? Oh, okay. Hogan went heel back in '96 with the whole NWO. You know what? I wonder if I can top that. I mean, come on.
I think it's gonna happen. But next match is Luke Harper versus Randy Orton.
Luke Harper, Randy Orton. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I assume Orton wins because he's #1 contender and he's supposed to get the WrestleMania main event. So I'm assuming he wins.
This is actually a pretty good feud between these two because
the storytelling for it has actually been pretty good because Luke Harper, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but the way Luke Harper sees it is that he doesn't trust Randy. He doesn't understand why Bray trusts Randy, and he's finally fed up with it. And he's going to try to take Randy out to prove himself to Bray.
Yeah,
unless I'm wrong.
Well, that and I think. With the whole Bray Wyatt and everything, he didn't. With the whole Bray Wyatt, not believing in him and stuff like that, and having Randy Orton like do whatever he wants with him, and then Bray Wyatt doing Sister Abigail to him and stuff like that. I think Luke Harper just got tired of it. That's why he was going after both of them and stuff like that. But I think in his mind, he doesn't get it. He doesn't get why he favors Randy Orton more.
All right, so second to last match they have up here, it was the SmackDown Women's Championship, Alexa Bliss versus Naomi. We touched on this earlier. I still agree with you where I hope Alexa Bliss wins.
Yeah, I stand by that one.
All right, the only thing I heard is that Naomi was hoping that she would go into WrestleMania as the champion because that is her hometown. But that doesn't mean up to me. I hope Alexa Bliss wins.
But Alexa Bliss's promos like crack me up sometimes because she acknowledges Becky Lynch and she, her friend is Mickie James, and they talked, and then when when Naomi gets in the mic, she's like, "Oh, you're still here? I didn't even know you were there." You know, it's like, yeah, you're not in the room. No, you're not important. But if they put the belt on her, you know, she's been in for a while. Good for her and everything, I guess. I guess you say. But I think Alexa Bliss should stay champion.
I hope so too. Now, the main event of Elimination Chamber is the Elimination Chamber, which this year has 6 participants. John Cena will defend his WWE title against the Intercontinental Champion Dean Ambrose, Baron Corbin, The Miz, AJ Styles, and Bray Wyatt. What do you think is going to happen?
All right, I want to get your opinion on this. John Cena, when they had his match with at the Royal Rumble with AJ Styles, he says that him and AJ Styles are the best in the WWE, and he even said that everybody else that's in the Elimination Chamber aren't on the level of him and AJ Styles. What do you think about that?
I agree with that statement.
You agree with
But
that
I don't
statement?
know if AJ and John are the best wrestlers. I think AJ definitely is. Cena, definitely an argument, but I'd have to look at the raw talent to see who's there, because I think in ring you might get a better match out of AJ and Kevin Owens than you would AJ Cena. I think you can get a better match from AJ and Rollins than you can out of AJ and Cena. The only thing that Cena has going for him in any type of matchup comparison is that Cena is a main event guy. He's a WrestleMania main event guy, and while he's not bad in the ring, you can't really argue that anymore. He has a connection to the fans that like none of the other superstars do, so he will bring that emotion from the fans more than a guy like Dean Ambrose can. Even though Ambrose is a big guy, he's not at that Cena level. He doesn't connect to the audience in that way. You know, even though they say boom or cheer him, it's a reaction, and it's true. Unlike the Roman, which is clearly negative reactions.
Right.
So I mean, I agree with it, kinda, but then I can always build an argument with other guys on the roster. Like, you know what? Nakamura, AJ, do that again in WWE.
Oh my
Give
God.
them all the time they want. No way Cena can actually. So there you go. I already talked myself out of that. No, that's a false statement. Nakamura, AJ could be better than anything that.
This is the two matches I want to see: Nakamura and AJ, or Finn Balor versus AJ.
That I'd be very interested to see too.
Yes,
I mean,
but
very
I
interesting matchup.
the way I see it is that compared to, yeah, I can see these two being the top two people in the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, definitely on SmackDown.
Yeah, but Dean Ambrose, I think he's just a chill guy. He doesn't care. He just wants to fight, you know. And then The Miz, he's got a hot wife, and then Baron Corbin. I'm impressed with Baron Corbin. If he becomes champion, I'll be happy for him. Bray Wyatt, he's been around for a long time. If he wins, I'll be happy for him as well. But something's got something. If like you said, if they're planning John Cena versus The Miz with both their significant others in the match as well, then
that has to happen in this match.
Yeah, something has to happen between The Miz and John Cena.
It has to be Miz eliminates Cena, so Cena does not retain his title. I hope AJ ends up winning, but I probably see Bray winning. So then, if they do Bray Orton at Mania, it at least continues their storyline and it brings the belt to it. So it means everything.
Right. So yeah, I think this will tie a lot of things that have been rumored in the last couple of weeks since Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I expect it to be an alright show. But you did say rumor, and our last topic is a very new rumor, which probably has no basis, but why not? PW Stream on Twitter verbatim said, another rumor being floated around is that Kurt Angle will replace Mick Foley as the #RawGM following Mania. That would be fantastic, says PW Streams. I've never heard of PW Streams. Have you?
I have not. I've heard of PWI, the Pro Wrestling Illustrated. That's what I used to have back in the day as magazines.
And I've heard of the PW Torch, Pro Wrestling Torch, but I've not heard of PW Stream. But if this is a real rumor, that's exciting. I hope Kurt Angle comes back to WWE TV.
Yeah. I mean, you think of Kurt Angle and being in that whole GM position. If they go ahead with it, I think it'll be pretty interesting. Plus, if you don't remember back in back in the Attitude Era days, and Kurt Angle and Stephanie McMahon with their whole are they trying to flirt with each other back in the day, and Triple H
There's
getting
no way
jealous
they're
and stuff
bringing
like
that
that.
back. There's no way they're
No, no,
bringing
no,
that
no, they're
back.
gonna bring that back, but they kind of got that history of like, yeah, they work pretty well with each other, you know.
Yeah, no, I wonder if this does happen, will Raw have a storyline like SmackDown has with Daniel Bryan and Miz, where Kurt Angle, another wrestler who will not be medically cleared by WWE, will feud for years with a guy on the Raw roster.
It could be. I could see it happening. Uh, yeah, I could see that, but some of these, I don't like how they're doing it with the Miz and Daniel Bryan. Let's try to do the same thing, but I think they should go about it in a different type of cycle, in a way.
Well, I hope that Kurt gets one last match if he can pass their test. If it literally means that Kurt Angle getting in the ring could possibly kill himself and die, or injure himself, go back in the pills, and eventually die, I don't want to see a match. But if he can have a match and continue to live, I want to see it in WWE. I wish it was a Mania, or let's build to next year's Mania. And I love to see it against AJ, because their stuff in TNA has been very good, was very good, and I'm sure he would go all out. And I guess you'd have to get a cage because Kurt would want to do his moonsault.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they should do something, either that, or we all know Mick Foley can't. He even stated that he can't wrestle anymore, which is he limps when he walks because of his hip and everything. And so I think if they were supposed to do a match for the GM job, if Kurt Angle's like, yeah, you have to wrestle me for it, he'll pick somebody to wrestle for him, and it'll be a match between the two. Um, I'm interested in seeing what they would do with it. Kurt Angle has been always a good performer. Always has
One of
been
the best. One of the best.
one of the best. And if he has one match left in him, I will I would like to see him against, if not AJ, then maybe somebody else he hasn't wrestled. Maybe Finn Balor comes back and we'll see Finn Balor versus Kurt Angle. Maybe it's somebody else. You never know. But if they go that route, it'll probably be interesting. Um, Raw itself is not a bad show. I'm just more into SmackDown for some reason. There's
I think
parts.
I think SmackDown is a better show.
Yeah.
Raw, it's too long. 3 hours is too long. SmackDown, it's better. I don't know if it's because they have a different lead writer and like Vince doesn't care as much, but there's something about SmackDown and their storytelling that is much better than Raw. And for the past few weeks, I've been watching Raw, and we've all been talking in our group chat. But I would rather watch SmackDown. I think we all should be watching SmackDown instead of Raw.
Yeah, and you know, um, SmackDown is good. I think they're getting too many people on Raw. I see a lot more. Yeah, it's a 3 hour show, but they're getting a lot more people going to Raw, and I think they need to throw some of those people on SmackDown. Not those, if not call up from NXT, put them on SmackDown next. Because if they call up somebody else and they show up on Raw, it's like, come on, too many people. It's crowded over here. Just bring some people over on this side.
I don't disagree with you, and I guess I'm kind of looking forward to what that potential, Kurt Angle involved in the WWE involved in could possibly mean. He's coming in on the Hall of Fame, but I want to see more of him, and he's definitely a good character.
Yeah, and I think it'll be good. It'll be good to see him back on TV again and everything.
All right, yeah, I agree. So if you guys like what you heard, please press that like button. Leave a comment on your thoughts on what you think about what we think, what you want to see at Mania, what do you think is going to happen at Elimination Chamber, or by the time you probably listen to this, what happened at Elimination Chamber and how you felt about it. And subscribe for more wrestling podcasts like this one, or give our other video game related videos a look at.
All right. See you, everybody.